everybody. Glad to have you back with us over here, Aquatic Life MS. So I've been working on a project kind of behind the scenes, as in I haven't really been documenting it as I go along, mostly as a trial, which it's been about a week and it's going really well. So I'm basically going to show y'all. I've been breeding Psuedomugil Luminatus, the red neon rainbow, blue-eyed red neon rainbow, dwarf rainbow is what it's referred to. Ooh, light. From time to time, I have 2 males, 2 females, and I've had them for about a year. And I know they only have about about 2-year lifespan, so I really wanted to breed them before, they eventually die. So that's what we're gonna do. I didn't shoot how I set it up, but I had to actually take down the tank because it had a chip in it. So I picked up 3 more tanks at a $1 per gallon sale. I returned the other tank and to get another one, so I bought 2. These tanks will make 10, 8, 9, 10, and I'm going to show you how I set it up. So let's get to it. Alright, so I had the tank set up, and I took it down so I could go and exchange the tank. I put everything into this 5-gallon bucket. Let's go over real quick equipment. Have the Aqueon heater, glass heater, and the Hikari Bacto sponge for a 75-gallon tank on it, sponge filter, and I just picked up a strip light on Amazon, have it hooked up running as a light because I don't need it really to grow plants, even though I'm pretty sure this grows plants. I've tried it once and I think I got some plants to grow. It wasn't the most reliable thing, but it worked. So we're gonna get everything out of here, put my tank back here, and then I'll show you what we got from what's inside. Alright, don't mind the mess right now. Again, this is in my room, so it's really small. I picked up these 3 tanks, exchanged 1 for 1, so I bought 2 new tanks. Picked up some heater suction cups, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a minute, or maybe in another video. Some tubing suction cups, really good to get airline tubing down, and then a splitter. I also picked up a few clumps of lava rock, and we're going to use this tank to go right over there on that desk. Let's move it over there and get everything inside. Here's a quick tip on how to change some water, especially in a dorm room. This is what I do. So you pump the water in a bucket out of your tank like normal, vacuum it or just take it out however you want, dump it in a toilet, and then you pump water into a little Tupperware container with a pump in the container. I used to do this with a cup too, and I've done it without the pump, where you start the siphon like you're doing a water change in a fish tank, and you just siphon it into a bucket, and that's your clean water, and do the same thing into the tank. Having a pump though is a lot better when you're pumping it back into the tank. But that's just a quick tangent on how to do that in a dorm room. 2-3 years in a dorm room, and that's when I figured out how to do that. So hope you get a little bit out of that. So while we're waiting for this to fill out, let me show you what I got for hatching wise. You can see a little clump of eggs. There's some newer eggs in there that I've clumped together as well. You can see by the blue, I've added ICX, a really small drop of ICX. Basically, I want to use the methylene blue as a fungus prevention. So far, it's been a good prevention method, antifungal prevention method. All I have is a little bubbler all I have is a little airline going. This is just fresh water. I change it every 2 days, and they're coming along well. These should hatch in the next 2-3 days. Yeah, and I have this floating in the tank to keep the inside warm. The tank I keep at 81 degrees so that this thing stays at 81 degrees. Just read online that helps with preventing fungus, and hatch rate goes by faster and better hatch rate at that temperature. So that's what I'm going for. It's my little hatchery up right there. It's gonna go back on top of this. Might do what I didn't do, which now I'm regretting I didn't do, is rinse the inside of this tank. And I can see some dust coming off. So what I'm gonna do is rinse it off a little bit and suck down some and put some more water in. Well, this video is not gonna go as well as I hoped. So while filling this tank up, noticed I only have one fish in the bucket. Found the other three, my 2 males and 1 female. Oh no, 2 females, 1 male. It just sucks. Anyway, got the eggs, so hopefully I can raise those up and breed them again in a month, I guess, is when they'll be, I think, old enough to start. I think it's like 2 or 3 months. And just little fish, and loss is still heavy. It just sucks. A lot of work into taking care of these, and sometimes you just lose some. I guess I'm gonna run this as the rearing tank from now until the eggs hatch. Once the eggs hatch, I'm gonna put them in here. Other than that, might as well just let this float. It won't need the whole water tank no more. Anyway, as you can see, those are the eggs. I think I have probably 10 or 12 in there. 8 that are coming up ready to hatch soon. Some new ones from recent. Anyway, this is what I have: the sponge, this, homemade spawning mops that were in here, and that's how I ran this tank. Got these eggs, and we'll see how they do. Well, you guys, I'm pretty bummed out, honestly. I hate losing fish. I hate it when anything I take care of dies, because I feel personally responsible. Because in this hobby we take in these animals, and we should always do best by them. You know, I was really worried about them jumping out too, and I knew I should have lowered the water. Not anything I can do now except raise the new eggs and try to breed those. I'm all sweaty from moving everything around. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. I made this video because there's not a lot into Luminatus breeding. Just a rundown. You see, it's just a 10-gallon tank. I keep the temperature at 80. I feed them a random amount of foods. I got omega-1. I got the fluval bug bites for small fish. I've used pellets, flakes, and some frozen foods, some frozen cyclops, even some bloodworms. They didn't like the bloodworms as much because they were really big. And just a sponge filter, the mop, and they got to it. I check the mop twice a day. Once I fed them in the morning, let them eat, came back from lunch, so around 12 I'd feed them at like 8. About 4 hours later I'd check them up, pull out a couple of eggs, feed them again. At that night I'd pull some more eggs, move them into the hatching station. You see how I set up my shallow hatching tank. Other than that, that's pretty much all I do. Water here. My water is like between 7.2 and 7.4. Sometimes I do have a little bit, like literally a handful of crushed coral in there. I don't know if it really helps all that much, but you know, they say a little hardness helps. I know my hardness, my TDS out of the tank is about 150 to 200 some days. So it's not very hard water. Carbonate hardness is I think 30 or 40 parts per million. So yeah, they're really easy to breed. If I can do it, you can do it. So Pseudomugil Luminatus, I recommend going and get some, breeding them, selling them, keeping them. Either way, they're beautiful fish. I was in love with this fish, and I kind of hate that they died. So it's always a hard day when you lose something that and a fish you're really close to. I've had these fish since my sophomore year in school, and it just sucks. So anyway, thanks for watching the channel. You know, despite the sad part of the end, I hope you got something out of it. I hope you learned something. I hope you come back and watch some more. Like this video, comment and subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos, and come back for more. And just keep taking on and have fun.
We got our first baby fry. Pseudomugil Luminatus. Not Illuminatus, Luminatus. Pseudomugil Luminatus. And the first one. Got some more that should be ready to hatch soon. That's what we got. This is the setup of this tank. The video was taking longer to process, so in the process of waiting, one hatched. Gonna give it some powder food. Hopefully you can eat on it. We'll see what happens.